All right, welcome back to the channel. So Eddie Hearn speaks out on Dazn going broke, and we will talk about what he talked about in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. All right, Eddie Hearn, who is the president of Matchroom Boxing and a partner along with Dazn in bringing fights to America on the Dazn network, was asked questions about the rumors that Dazn, well, it's not even a rumor because it's something that the billionaire behind Dazn said was the case, that Dazn is having some significant problems. And the way that it is being referred to in a lot of comments is that it is going bankrupt, it is going out of business. Now, what kicked off this conversation was something, I think the guy's name is Blavatnik, but he is I think he's a Russian billionaire who lives in the UK and is the major financial backer behind Dazn. Now, what he said was that Dazn is going to have to start looking to either raise more money or they might be looking to sell. Okay, so technically speaking, that is not going bankrupt. That is putting itself up on the market and signaling that there's some major, economic issues going on with Dazn. Now, what Eddie Hearn said, and the reason why I'm going to cover what Eddie Hearn said is because it was kind of fun to watch him squirm. I can't lie, man, because when they were asking him about it, they say he's trying to say that they weren't going broke, but in everything that he said, it was just oozing. It just made it seem like, yeah, they going broke. So what did he say? He's like, I'm not listening to the stuff that people are saying about Dazn being broke. We have a meeting coming up in the next couple of days to talk about the schedule for Dazn. And he said that he isn't worried. Blavatnik, he thinks Blavatnik is going to make it and is going to be just fine. Right now, let's look at that a little bit closely. OK, first, just because you have a meeting to discuss the schedule doesn't mean that you're going to have a productive meeting, right? The meeting could be, hey, we're going to have Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin in August. Then after that, we want to have Anthony Joshua and Pulev in September. And then we're going to have 5 or 6 fight cards the rest of the year. Your meeting can go like that, or the meeting can go like, well, we're going to have to cut out a lot of these fights because we don't have the money. And we're not scheduling anything for the rest of the year. Now, that also could be the outcome of that scheduling meeting. The potential of setting up more fights and doing, having big events is not the same thing as the actuality of it. So what I'm looking for is to see them actually put on fights. Now, I don't believe that they're going to go all the way out, they're going to go out of business. They're not going to put on any fights. They're not going to air any sports, and all that stuff is going to go away, right? I don't believe that. And I don't think it's reasonable to expect that to be the case because they have already invested so much money in it that they're not just going to walk away and drop the ball and not try to do anything. I will say, however, without a doubt, that all that yap about coming to the United States and taking over American boxing and putting Showtime out of business and putting, the PBC, taking all the PB's fighters because of this big load of money that you have. What I'm saying is that is gone. Now, Eddie Hearn also in the meeting did make a mention of the things that are obvious to everybody, that a streaming service that is specifically designed exclusively around live sports, that it would be very hard on them in a time frame when there is no live sports. And that's just reasonable. That's to be expected, right? So Eddie seems to me as if he kind of tries to brush it off as something that you should expect to happen in this environment, right? So follow me here. There's no need to panic. We have a scheduling meeting coming up. And of course, it's not good and the company's not going to be in terrific financial situation because there's no live fights going on and the network is exclusively used for live fights, right? Exactly, Eddie. Exactly. That's why people thinking that the thing is going to go broke or the thing is going to the thing is going to shut down or sell. Obviously, that's the case. That if you put on only live events and there's no live events, that it's not going to be good for the company. But what does that mean? Not good for it. If they had 4 million subscribers, they may not very well may be down to 1 million, maybe just say 1 in 4. I think, to be generous, say 1 in 4 people that had that app worldwide would be willing to keep that app going at the cost of $20 a month. Because most people, I suspect, are on month to month, and it's $25 a month, are willing to pay you $50 for nothing over the next 2 months and continue have that cost reoccurring. No, sirree, Bob. They're going to get rid of it. And the problem is that once you get rid of it, right? Once they get rid of it, you have to convince them that your product is good enough for them to sign back up for it. And I don't know whether or not Dazn is going to be able to dig themselves out of that hole that the virus put them in. The virus put them in that hole, without a doubt, as far as no fights going on. But what are they going to be able to offer that is going to get people to come back? And then you think about it, if they are cash strapped, right? And Eddie Hearn actually said that. He said, we're going to have to look at how much money we're paying these fighters, right? Well, if you don't have, for the foreseeable future, if you don't have fights being able to take place in front of crowds, so the promoters and those guys cannot take the money from the gate, right? And the fighters don't earn money off the gate, then it's strictly on Dazn's budget. Then if Dazn has also went several months without bringing any revenue in whatsoever, and if they have any difficulties getting in any type of investors, then you're not going to be able to put up the type of fights that are going to motivate people to want to pay $25 a month. Like, the only reason that I could see that I would be willing to pay $25 a month for Dazn, and I'm talking about somebody that my Dazn subscription is tax deductible for me because I got a boxing channel. I still wouldn't pay $25 a pop for that unless I know I'm getting the best fights pretty much the best fights that you can get in boxing, because I'm going to get good fights off of Fox, and I don't have to pay anything, right? I'm getting fights off of Showtime, but I also get movies from Showtime, and they're only $15 a month. They're not $25 a month. So it just seems like, number one, I think that Dazn started off, and that's another thing. Dazn started off with one mission, and a year into it, it seemed like they switched it up, right? Originally, you were going to be paid for $10 a month. It was $10 a month. You were going to get these really great fights. You were going to get really great fights for $10 a month. They were going to sign a bunch of fighters, and you were going to get a good number of really solid fights. May not have been pay-per-view level fights, but really solid fights, right? Fights, it could be like Gennady Golovkin versus Danny Jacobs, or, the type of fight like, even Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis, I think, lived up to that level of fight that Dazn said that they would be offering on a regular basis. Well, when they weren't able to sign a lot of the fighters that they wanted to sign out of the PBC, they then became you're going to get a Canelo, a big name fighter that they're paying a lot of money for, but you got big name fighters in fights that you aren't particularly interested in, like Canelo Alvarez versus Rocky Fielding, or Canelo Alvarez versus Deverenchenko. I like that fight a little bit, but for $25, when that's pretty much the only major fight happening that month, right? The best fight that you got out of Anthony Joshua the whole time that there was a Dazn was Andy Ruiz 2. It's just not what they originally started pitching back in July. I think it was July of 2018, somewhere around that time frame, June or July of 2018, when they really first started pitching Dazn. They were supposed to be putting an end to pay-per-view, but now they've got their price structure where it's so high that you're paying more money for Dazn easily than you would pay on on pay-per-views throughout the year. $25 a month. $25 a month is $200. That's $300 a year. I was not paying I'm not buying 3 pay-per-views a year, right? And at least I know, and that is you just signing up and having to pay it on a recurring basis. It's just really tough on DAZN, man. And I don't think that they had a bad idea about what they were trying to do. And I do believe that they brought, good fights. But the fact of the matter is that the United States market did not need a fourth. Boxing in the United States does not need a fourth entity to compete with the other 3, with the Fox, Showtime, and ESPN. What we need is fewer networks with more high quality fights on them. And DAZN kind of missed the boat on that anyway. And I don't think that they're going to last long. I think that they're going to wind up selling, and they'll probably wind up selling to somebody that is going to bundle it with another package. And when they bundle it as another part of a package, it's probably not going to give you the same, even the level of quality of fights that you were getting from DAZN before the virus hit. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.